we have now done 21 of the current 28 lessons that we can do in the Gran Turismo 4 Prologue School Mode. And I think for today at least, I'm going to do probably one more test just as pretty much a startup to the red section, and then once I'm done with that I'll pretty much just call it a day. So let's start the red section, which is also lesson 20. Memorizing the course. 3. Complexities of racing through narrow town streets. So 4 minutes 4 is what we need for a gold, and 4 minutes 6 is what we need for a silver. And where for this we will be driving the Spoon Fit race car. Let's get on with this.
Welcome to lesson 20. For this lesson, you'll be taking a slow drive around the Italian town course. Take 2 laps of this course without hitting the surroundings or going off the track. As before, you'll be given plenty of time, so take in the sights and enjoy the feeling of driving on paved roads. As soon as you begin, you'll notice the roads are narrow and go up and down steep hills. In the residential areas, a single car can barely fit through, so be careful not to hit the sides or you'll immediately be disqualified. Also, the steep inclines you'll encounter will affect acceleration and braking. You would do well to remember the best locations at which to begin braking. There are a number of blind corners spread about the course, and for these you must remember the landscape that comes after the exits. By this time, most drivers will have made considerable improvement in their skills, so the ideal line indicator will be turned off. If need be, you can turn it back on with the R3 button. Good luck with this lesson.
As ever, Vicky, I always appreciate the motivation. And I also know that once you do get used to the lessons in this game, they can be a lot of fun, because I do have prior experience of knowing what to expect with the game. So, without any further dilly-dallying, let's get on with this. Let's get on with our first lesson of Section Red. Do 2 laps on the Italian street course without crashing into the track boundaries. In other words, concrete walls and guardrails. Memorize the course features and don't try to drive too fast at first. Pay special attention to the narrow roads, tricky corners, and the steep hills. Okay, let's go. As we will begin our 2-lap escapade with the Spoon Fit. Okay, how slow am I going to be? I'm going to be 1.7 seconds off. Okay, that's not too bad. I thought for sure I was going to be at least another second slower, but I'm glad to say I wasn't. So, let's try this again. Well, I almost had it on my previous attempt until my head decided to basically shut down all of a sudden and just stop concentrating. Which means I'm now pretty much going to be driving angry. Because of how well my previous attempt went, and then basically I just binned it right at the end. Basically losing all momentum I had before. off that final corner before the uphill straight. And then basically from that point on my efforts were ruined. I think it's pretty much my head telling me... I think it's pretty much my head now telling me that I've had enough of this shit. But that's just my head, that's not coming from me. It's just coming from my brain. And in some cases, my brain is probably right. Because I've been at this now for a good couple of hours. And at the moment, I'm not doing too well in terms of finding the pace I need to find, because I was doing well to a degree, but then after that my head just decided to shut down at the worst possible time. Okay, so not quite as fast as I was before, but I'm still 2 seconds up. That's more than enough for where I need to be. If I can gain another 2 seconds on the second lap, then that should be more than enough for me to secure the gold. If I can hold on to that margin. But we shall wait and see. So, let's try this again, and see if this time I can avoid the mistake I made before. The very, very, very reckless mistake I made before. Oh, that was just a beautiful entry through that section of corners. I don't think that could have possibly been any better than what that was. That's probably my best single-handed entry through one section of corners, and I hardly even feathered the throttle. That was beautiful, that was just absolutely beautiful. Is what that was. Just totally and unequivocally beautiful is what that entry was. Okay, this time, can I avoid the mistake I made before? It would be really nice if I could. There we go, that's more like it. And how much faster am I going to be? I wind up being 4 seconds faster, as I set an overall time of 4 minutes 1.65. So that technically means my second lap time was probably a 1:57, or thereabouts. Anyway, there we go. 1 test down, and still 5 tests to go. However, I'm going to leave the rest of those for another day, because, well, I've been at this now for a good while, and in all honesty, I've made some really good progress, no doubt. But I'm also convinced in saying that this is where I will call it for today, and then I will get on with the rest of the red section tomorrow, most likely. But either way, this is the car we win. The Spoon Fit race car. And that's our first lesson of the red section done. And now, I will call it a day by saving the game. And then, I can get back to do the rest of this game tomorrow. So, 1 lesson is down in the red section, and we still have another 5 lessons to go, plus our 3rd coffee break. On now to the rest of the episode. The next day. So here we are. It is time now for us to continue with the red section, since I have just done my first lesson of the red section, and now I must get through the others. Strategies for tackling S-bends. Tackle these tricky bends on the New York course. So 45.5 seconds is what we need for a gold, 46.5 seconds is required for a silver, and 51 seconds is required for us to pass with the bronze. So, let's get to it.
Welcome to Lesson 21. The setting for this lesson is once again the New York City course. This lesson concentrates on the series of 90-degree bends in front of the Plaza Hotel. Think about how you need to drive to take these corners at the maximum speed possible. For this, a racing driver needs to consider not the line that attains maximum speed for the individual corners, but the best line for achieving the best overall speed for the entire area. The shortcut to mastery is to turn on the racing line indicator and practice until you can follow it closely. The higher the speed, the more difficult it becomes to follow the line, and once you break from the line, it takes a while to get back on track. For this reason, you need to pay careful attention to braking and acceleration. Success will be determined by how well you can stick to the single optimal line. Best of luck!
So let's begin with lesson 21 of the blue section, as I am basically watching this through to the end of the run, so I have an idea of what speed it is I need to be setting for the run altogether. Alright, let's go. Learn how to drive through a series of demanding bends on a section of the New York street course. When tackling the right-angled corners towards the end, the correct racing line will provide the optimum exit speed. Alright, let's see if we can do that. And also turning on the... a little bit wide there on that corner entry, but I didn't expect myself to get this on the gold first try. I expect this to take me at least a few tries before I get it right. But I more or less have an idea of what sort of speed I need to set in order to be successful. So, let's see how long this takes. And... oh, just a 10th off. If I didn't scrape the concrete right there at the finish, that would have been enough for the gold. I'm sure it would have been. Oh well, let's try again and see how long it takes before we can well and truly succeed. A little bit slower on the exit of that right-hander this time, but... oh, that's a wall. And up the inside. Oh, a little slow there, but able to get it out of the way on the exit. This is going to be a tricky one. Unless I can nail the exit speed. And I think this time I just might. And I do. I nail it by nearly 1/4 of a second. At the moment, I'm actually making these look quite easy. Because I can definitely say that took a lot less time than what I was thinking it would. And since I am recording this on a different day, I just need to check something. Okay, I do have the replay saved. That is good, because it means I don't have to worry about saving another one afterwards. But yeah, there we go. So, we now have the Honda Civic Type R, available for us to use in arcade mode. 21 lessons down, and we still have another 4 lessons to go with the inclusion of Coffee Break number 4. Strategies for tackling a street course. Blind cornering combined with inclines and declines. So 22.75 is what we need for a gold, 23.25 is what we need for a silver, and 25 is what we need for a pass as well as a bronze. So let's get to it. Lesson number 3 of the red section, also lesson 22.
Welcome to lesson 22. It's back to the complex Italian town course for this lesson. You've learned how to handle blind corners with poor visibility in lesson 18. This time you'll be practicing a hairpin corner with a steep incline. On the ascent, the brakes work well, but with the weight of the car on the front wheels lightened, the steering won't respond in the manner you're used to, and it becomes harder to turn. You should plan on reducing your speed lower than usual at the entrance to the corner to attain the necessary line. The clipping point of this corner is well into the bend and can't be seen from the entrance. For the initial section, drive in the centre of the track. When you reach the apex, turn quickly to clip the curve. Wait until you can see the exit, then finally give it full acceleration. Until that point, you are recommended to take it slowly and carefully. Once you perfect the timing of when to accelerate, you'll be halfway there. Good luck with the lesson.
As ever, Vicky, I appreciate you giving me the motivation. So here we are. Learn how to tackle the combination of tricky corners and steep hills on the Italian street course. Clear the corners with invisible clipping points and pay close attention to your speed and racing line. I've already been through the required times, don't need to say those again. So, let's get at it with our Subaru Impreza. And we'll see how we do. I was a little bit hesitant there, but I think I should be okay in terms of completing the run. And we get a silver to open this up. I'm okay with that. I think it was because I was a little bit too hesitant in that S-bend. That was basically what put my run off guard, but either way, I still got a silver, and I'm okay with that for a first attempt. Now I just need to be basically 0.3 faster. And then I think we should be there. Oh, yeah, I botched it on the exit. But it's okay, because I get the gold by 0.06 of a second. Regardless of me botching the entry or exit, I still proved to be faster. But there we go. 3 lessons down, and another 3 lessons to go, plus a coffee break. So we now get the Subaru Impreza WRX STI. And that is now 22 lessons down. And we still have another 3 lessons to go, plus a coffee break. Accelerating with high-powered cars. Learn control of acceleration without traction control. So our goal time is 9.65 seconds, 9.85 seconds is what we need for a silver, and 10 seconds is what we need to pass with the bronze. So let's get on with it, with the Dodge Viper GTS.
Welcome to lesson 23. In this lesson, you'll be trying something new. You'll be accelerating a high-powered car from a standstill on the final straight of the Fuji International Speedway. In Gran Turismo, the TCS, traction control system, feature is usually operational during gameplay. TCS prevents wheel spin resulting from excessive use of the accelerator. For this lesson, however, this will be turned off, and you will have to control the power of the car using your own skill. The training car is a 98 Dodge Viper, a 450 horsepower monster. Start smoothly and race the 200-meter stretch as fast as you can, as the key to getting a good time in this lesson is starting well. Ideally, you want to start with minimal wheel spin. Watch the on-screen rev counter closely in the beginning and determine the revs at which the tyres squeal when you take off. If the squealing continues as you're pulling away, then the revs are too high. No tyre squeal at all means the revs are too low. Don't forget to keep an eye on things once you're racing. If you press the accelerator too hard with the car in too low a gear, your wheels will spin. If this happens, blip the throttle to regain control. Okay, good luck with the lesson.
And so here we go. Time now to drive a snake. Try smoothly accelerating a high-powered car from a standstill on the final straight of the Fuji International Speedway. Carefully control your acceleration to minimize excessive wheel spin. Those are our targets, and there is a trick to getting the gold here, but it only works if you use manual transmission, as I will show you. So basically what you need to do is shift into second gear, give it about as many revs as possible, and then you should more or less be there. As I get the gold first try by 3.5 tenths. Easy peasy, no deasy. Now we move on, because I did that so fast. And now we get a 99 Dodge Viper GTS. So, now we can move on to the coffee break. Coffee break 3. Knock over all cones aligned to the marked course. So 57 seconds is what we need for a gold, 1 minute is what we need for a silver, and there is no minimal time we need to set. We basically just need to knock over all the cones as fast or as slow as we can, and then we should be there. However, this is going to be interesting, but we'll wait and see what happens.
Time for a coffee break. Once again, the coffee break takes place in the Gymkhana in the driving park, but this time there are 100 cones to hit with your car in the quickest possible time. This time you'll see a track drawn on the surface of the tarmac with white lines showing the route. These lines indicate the most efficient route since the cones follow this line. You're free to go off the course, however, and try your own route. On the hairpin corner, you can hit the cones by using the handbrake if you wish. Enjoy your coffee break.
That was a lot briefer than what I thought it was going to be, but nonetheless, here we go. Let's begin with our coffee break. Knock over all of the 100 cones on the Gymkhana as fast as you can. This time, white lines are painted on the course to guide you. So those are our required times. I of course will be going for gold because that's what I always do. But we'll see how long this takes, because I have a feeling this is going to take a while. But let's see how we do. because I'm cool like that. As we are driving a Mazda RX-7. I did that on purpose. Anyway, let's try again and see if we can make up less than 9 seconds. Because I'm willing to see how far I can push. Oh my god. I did not think on just my second attempt I was going to get the gold, but I somehow did it. I was not expecting that to be a gold run, but it somehow was. That is actually unbelievable. I did not think I was going to get the gold quite that fast. I thought for sure this was going to take me at least 15 minutes to get there, but I did not think I was going to absolutely nail it on that second run. Ah, that run was beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful is what that run was. I can definitely say prior experience is helping me immensely at the moment, because that's partly the reason why I'm just driving even beyond my personal expectations. But anyway, we got 2 lessons to go now, as our next one comes with driving on the dirt. Vehicle control on a dirt surface. Practice rapid changes of direction at speed. So 17.6 is what we need for a gold, 18 seconds for a silver, and 19 seconds is what we need for a silver. And so we head on to lesson 24. Let's see how well we do.
Welcome to lesson 24. In this lesson, you'll be racing on a dirt road again. You'll practice taking a series of hairpin corners on the Grand Canyon at breakneck speed. You need to master controlling the direction of your car to navigate the narrow track. In lesson 17, you learned about high-speed cornering. For this course, you'll be dropping your speed considerably to take the hairpin corners. You'll also use the braking drift technique you've already learned. That is, when you press the brake as you turn into the corner. Be careful, if you drift too aggressively, you'll spin right out of control. But if the action is too weak, the car won't turn as desired. So experiment to determine the right amount of action needed to turn the car. Best of luck in the lesson.
And for this, we are driving a Subaru Impreza rally car. Learn fine control of your car at speed whilst negotiating the hairpin corners of the Grand Canyon rally course. Those are our required times, so let's see how long it takes for us to get the gold. And as a result of me getting loose, I barely passed. Oh well, we just have to do better. Let's try this again, and see how long it takes for us to get to the gold. Even I am willing to admit at this stage that my runs are not where they need to be. As much as I'm trying to get them there. And in saying that, I just go out and get the gold anyway. Right when I thought for sure I was going to say my pace is still off, I wind up getting the gold by nearly 2/10. Honestly, it's just becoming a bit of a trend where every time I seem to more or less complain to myself while concentrating on the runs, I just go out and get the gold anyway. I don't know how that keeps happening, but it definitely feels like something in Destiny just basically calls me to push hard enough to eventually get there, and that's just how I seem to do it at the moment. Anyway, enough about that. We now have just one lesson to go in the red section, as we have now got the GC model of the Subaru Impreza rally car from 1999. And now we have one final test. High-speed cone slalom. 17 seconds is what we need for a gold, 17.75 seconds for a silver, and 20 seconds for a bronze. Advanced vehicle control using steering and acceleration. Oh boy. I'm not sure I'm gonna like the way this is going, but we have to do it anyway. So, let's see how we go with our Honda NSX of Fuji.
Welcome to lesson 25. With the completion of this lesson, you'll graduate to the next level of the Gran Turismo 4 Prologue driving school. For this test, you'll be attempting a high-speed slalom, weaving through cones placed on the straight of the Fuji International Speedway. The object is to traverse this stretch as fast as possible with maximum control over your vehicle. First, weave between the cones at a relaxed pace. The trick is to use minimal steering and practically brush up against the cones. Then it's time to gradually increase your speed as you practice it a few more times. You'll notice that at higher speeds, the car is pulled to the left and right. If you continue to accelerate when this happens, you'll lose control of your car. Get a good rhythm to your steering and control the acceleration in sync with that rhythm. Once you sense you're getting close to the limit, keep the acceleration consistent and you can prevent the car from going out of control. Once you begin to instinctively feel that you're about to lose control of the car and therefore prevent it, you'll be very close to passing the lesson. Good luck.
As ever, Vicky, I appreciate the motivation. So, let's go out and do our job. As this is our final lesson of the red section. Try this high-speed slalom on the Fuji Speedway final straight, weaving around the lines of cones. Notice the loss of control over your car as the speed increases. As much as I personally hate doing cone slaloms at speed, I have to admit they do serve a very direct purpose because it shows how the car responds to your steering input. And you have to do it one way or the other, regardless of how much animosity you might have towards it. You still have to do it regardless. So, let's get this over with. As this will probably take a while. Oh, yep. And immediate fail. Oh well, let's try again. and see just how long it is before I pass. Must have done this at least a dozen times now. And it's still frustrating the fucking hell out of me. Because I haven't figured out how to establish the pattern yet. Until now. I think out of all the tests I've done up to this point, this one has clearly been the hardest of all of them. And by quite some margin, I might add. Because I must have done that at least a dozen times before actually getting the gold. And it also took me just 3 times alone to actually pass it. You really have got to establish a rhythm here in order to get it passed. That's one thing I know for sure. With that one cone slalom test. As much as I really hate it personally, because the margin for error is just about... because the fraction of failure is at least 1,000 to 1. It still has its purpose, because it shows how the car will steer, and how you respond to the steering input. But nonetheless, we got it done. And I have now got a Honda NSX Type S 0 from 1997, as reviewed to us on the front stretch of the Fuji International Speedway. And now we get a prize car as well, the Suzuki Concept S2, which I'm also pretty sure is a precursor to the Suzuki Swift, from what I know. Anyway, on to you, Vicky. Oh yeah, we also got the credits. I'll skip past these and show them at the end of the playthrough.
Congratulations! You've completed all the basic lessons in Gran Turismo 4 Prologue. You've become a skilled driver. Now race in the arcade mode to enjoy the tracks to your heart's content.
Thank you, Vicky, I will make sure to do that. However, if you were paying attention, you will notice that we have an arrow up here, which means we have now got some more lessons available. So, upon completing the red section, we now unlock the bonus section of this game, also known as the purple section. So let's have a look at our progress. So we have now done all 4 of the basic sections, and now we get to move on to the purple section, which basically tells us everything we need to know about not only driving cars, but overtaking and racing cars. These first few lessons, they basically showed us the basics of how to control and tame a car, and also how to more or less drive a car at speed properly and also diligently. But now with this section, we get to learn how to race. And the purple section is what we will be doing next. However, I will be splitting these up into 3 separate parts, because we do have coffee mugs, and also to end this section off, we get 5 time attack lessons that we need to go through. And we will be starting off with part 1 of the purple section next time on Gran Turismo 4 Prologue.